Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to some more Quake with yours truly. Today we're going to be playing Darkplaces. I've played this source port for years. It's just the first time that my software has ever detected it properly. You can see in the bottom there we have our FPS at a nice, healthy amount. Normally when it records in Bandicam, it just says, nope, we're doing 10 frames a second. That's all you're going to get, champ. And for some reason, it works. I don't know whether it's just the day and the right time or whatever, but you know, this is not the same run you see me do before in Epsilon. Every level is going to be under a minute. The longest level I think you're going to see me do is going to be about 2 minutes, and that's about it. So, yeah, I'm still recovering from a cold. You know, I got really sick. I coughed for like 3 days straight, and it was just miserable. I shattered my lungs, it felt like. And, yeah, I thought, you know, let's play some Quake, because that's something I want to do, and it's something I'm feeling up for. And, you know, skip the formalities, of course. I've had a really traumatic, but not really, like, I haven't cried, nothing like that. It's just, you know, emotional defeat. You know, it's the person I really cared about. I didn't know a lot of stuff. We talked an hour on the phone yesterday, and it was, you know, not what I wanted to hear. And, but I can't be mad at her. I'd rather her be happy. Didn't end in like anger or anything. It's just disappointment, I guess, and she could hear it in my voice. And you know, I know at least she knows me pretty well to know that I was mortally shot. I can not stress it enough, and you know, I just feel like it's the perfect thing to hear because it's something that's real, and I can't ignore it. You know, I'm moving on from it, and I just want her to be happy, and that's all I can think of. You know, I never want something painful to happen to someone that I care about, because, you know, friendship is friendship, and that's all you want from someone, you know, and that's the best you can hope for them, and that's all I want, and that's as much as I'm going to talk about that, because it's something that's, like, really, god damn it, I want to get this jump perfect. That'd be nice. Yeah, there we go. That's the pro strats. We're not jumping off that fiend's head. That's not the way we do. That is not how we do. So, but yeah, it's just a really miserable experience, and I just have to, you know, I'll be her friend, and that's all I can be, despite her not knowing that I went through nearly dying and just feeling like I got discarded because she didn't know that, and I told her it like day one it happened. You know, shit like that is just really hard to swallow, and, you know, I can't hate because of it, because hating is not the right way to go, and I'm not that kind of person. And that's about as much as I can really say on that without really either mentally thinking too much about it or just, you know, like, that's as far as I can really go. That's how I look at it, and I don't really want to address it more. And that's as much as it's ever going to go from this point forward, I feel. And that's good in a lot of ways, because I feel a lot of guilt and shame off my chest, and a lot of, like, mental perfection and balance, basically, because I wouldn't be doing this if you know, that was the case, because if you guys don't know, I don't actually record when I'm discorded in my mind. It's just like, if I'm that miserable, I won't do it. Black Mesa, and this is honestly where I think you know, I really should have cut it completely, and that's something I was thinking too, because if you've ever seen that series I've done, I played that the day it came out. I got death threatened and over this same situation, and it was really bad, and I should have cut it there, but I didn't, and it was a mistake, it feels like. But you know, that's, I don't ever record in a shitty mood, and that's why I say I didn't want to do it, and I will never record in a shitty mood like that again. And obviously I'm doing fairly well. That's the first time I think I've ever done that well in that level, so I'm definitely keeping this recording because it's really good. And then that's as far as that goes. So, you know, if you guys want to see me do more Quake runs, just casually bullshitting, I'll do it. I don't mind. I really love playing Quake. It's a very fun game for me to play. It's kind of like one of those big boys in my mind where it's like, damn it, man, I usually get 18 seconds. That's nonsense. The most I've ever got on that level is 16. I've never been able to do it twice. I know the number because I had a picture of it on my phone somewhere. I was like, look at this, and yeah. So, yeah, I really enjoy Quake. It's one of those games that I have a very high skill ceiling for, and I won't play it if I'm not in a good mood, or I won't play it if I feel like I'm not going to do well. I know all my weaknesses, basically, and you guys, like I said, this is going to be under 3 minutes in every single level. Actually, The longest I think you're going to see a level go on other than 3 is about 1:30. And keep in mind, this is about an 8-hour game. So, those of you that are unfamiliar with Quake, this is a not good way to be introduced into the game by just someone basically speedrunning it. I'm not the perfect speedrunner. I don't know all the tricks and traps and doodly dangs, but you know, that's part of like the magic of, I think, not conforming to the meta of something. And I'm not trying to be that hipster guy that says, don't conform to the meta because it's dumb. Because there's people that will make me look like complete garbage at this game as soon as you look up, like, Quake done quicker. Seriously. You'll be like, well, you're just terrible at video games. And I'd be fine with you saying that because it's probably true. And, you know, it's like, there's some points, and it's a lot like, you know, anything in life, you can just kind of regurgitate information out. Like, I could seriously just watch those videos over and over and not learn anything from it because I had no experience. Let's say I was brand new at Quake, and I'm like, I want to learn how to speedrun this game. You watch that, and you just do that. You're not learning on your own, basically. You're not actually... I mean, you're learning, but you're learning the wrong way. You're not learning how the game works mechanically by yourself. You're not learning how, like, to control the game and how every mechanic works, how every enemy works. And I think it's more important when you're learning to speedrun a game to just do it yourself first. Don't try and... oh, fuck, I can never get that jump half the time. I do it, seriously, 9 times out of 10. That 1% is just like, nope, you hit the ceiling and you're done. It's there's a lot of intricacies in Quake when you're playing it, and it's to the point where I'm good at it. I'm not going to even say I'm a bad player, because if I said I was a bad player, that would be an outright lie. And fuck, man, there's no way in hell I could say I'm a bad player at Quake. I'm good. If I'm able to at least comfortably speedrun the game and not miss shots, you know, that's something I always say. If I can feel my skill ceiling for the game is pretty high, and I do well in a speedrun environment, that makes me happy, because it makes me feel like I'm applying what I know about the game to something. You know what's weird is that water to me, at least in this source port, that water always looks like cheese pizza. Same thing with the lava. I don't know. Makes me think it's just like plain cheese pizza. Something for you to think on. But, yeah, I really do love Quake, and it's one of those games, like I said, I won't play this if I'm in a bad mood. You can tell I'm definitely in a different state of mind right now. And like I said, I'm not, like, depressed. I'm just disappointed. And because it's like this person I really cared about when she said, oh, I was at my boyfriend's house, and I was like, oh. And then I eventually slowly transitioned that over to, like, find out. And that's when, like, the disappointment set in, that, you know, all the things she said and shit. But, you know, I'm not really, like, thinking... I'm trying to turn a negative situation into a positive. It's not healthy to think, as a human being, to think completely on the negatives. And thinking on the negatives really doesn't improve you. You're not actually improving, basically. Sort of like what I was just saying about speedrunning. If you're not applying something to learn from everything, you're not doing it right. You're just kind of stagnating, and I don't want to do that, because I felt like I've done that for too long. And I mean, like I said, I'm just gonna take life one more day at a time. I'm not gonna let that shit catch me up and think that I can't do anything else. So, you know, that was 8 seconds too many in my opinion, but we're gonna keep going with it. And those of you that are curious, when I actually am, like, seriously just speedrunning Quake, like, actually recording the times and everything, I actually do have a notepad in my room here of all my best times in Quake. I'm not gonna look at it for this because I don't care. This is just me speedrunning for fun, because I wanted to do it. And, I'm not worried about times right now, but I do actually have a notepad with my best times in it, and, like, the days and every single level's time in it. And it's like, you know, that's the best environment I've ever spedrun Quake in, was actually, like, I was listening to Anima because I forgot it was in my CD drive. And if you don't know, Quake actually has a, function, kind of like Hexen and Heretic, where whatever CD drive, like, has in it, you know, it'll actually put that over the game's CD audio. And this is a little bit of a random part here, so I had to save just for safety. I mean, I can do this, it's just random at times. Like, this Shambler can block you in there and you can't kill him, and you just, it's annoying. Like, it's so cool because I love Epsilon, and I had played that before I'd listened to Anima, and, it sounds very similar to how Epsilon's soundtrack sounds, which I freaking love. And I actually sped ran this, not saying a word. It was a really good time. Like, and I got like my lowest time ever listening to Anima by Tool playing this because it replaces all the like in-game music. And I was actually going off of sound cues in the songs to determine how fast I was going, and that was how I was doing it. And it's kind of interesting. I don't really play Quake well with like speed like stuff on. Like, I can listen to Slipknot when playing it. It doesn't really make me do any better or worse. It's just I much prefer ambient soundtracks because it's more or less, you know, exactly like the actual game's soundtrack. So I don't listen to my own music playing this either because that's too narcissistic. Actually, Quake's soundtrack is another thing that really inspired me as a musician because it was made by Trent Reznor, and that man is a fantastic musician. You know, he's done some pretty crazy stuff. And, you know, for me, it's like listening to that sort of shit when I'm playing this game really amplifies the mentality of when I first played it back when I was 16. And I've played Quake since I was 16, and it was really one of those games I just wanted to learn, you know, like Dark Souls 1. And I just said, I want to learn this game, and I don't care. I want to know how it works. I want to know what's inside you. You know, it's one of those kind of games, and I really take a lot of pride in playing it well. And this is one of those hairy levels. I'm just not good at this level. I'm going to openly admit that. I'm not good at this level. There's a lot of shit in it that's very tight and very specific. Even when you're playing the game regularly, which I don't remember how to do, because I've done this for so long, it's just really tight. And I like playing Quake, if you couldn't tell. It's like, it's a comfort game, kind of like, it's a comfort game like Diablo 2, where I can just play it, and I don't really have to think very much. This is really sketchy. I'm gonna die in one hit no matter what. Excuse me? There we go. That was interesting. I've never seen that happen before. What the hell's going on in here? Okay, that's not supposed to be like that at all. Alright. I'm gonna take that one and just roll with it, because I've never seen this happen in Quake. I mean, that's possible that I fucked up the door somehow, but I don't know how I did it. And if you're playing this, hold left, not like what I just did, because you'll fall. You have a little bit of momentum after you either do a rocket jump or anything like that, and when you come through a teleporter. That was really sloppy in my opinion. But it was like you have to hold left or whatever direction you're going to end up moving into, because if you don't, you'll just end up bouncing across something or whatever it is you're trying to do. Really? I don't know why I didn't see. I didn't have that much health. But yeah, there's a lot of intricacies in playing Quake if you're interested in learning it. I'm not an expert at Quake at all, by any imagination. Just like I'm not an expert at Doom, despite having played it for a very long time. I wouldn't go as far as to say I'm perfect at it, because, you know, there's no such thing as you're perfect at something. You're never going to be perfect. You can just have a high skill ceiling. It's like, you can be the world record holder or something, but does not mean you're the best in the entire planet. There's always going to be something or somebody that's going to do better. And eventually, basically, even if it's like so locked down, you know, Quake's just a fun game for me to play. I always enjoy playing through it, and I hope you guys enjoy me playing through it. There's my hit sound, by the way, if you don't know, is that 15 HP pickup in Quake. And it's just because I think it's funny. I always like that sound for some reason. It's just because, like, I don't like the 25 one. I like the 15 one where it's like, boop. I just think it's kind of an, like, right there. That, I don't know, I love that noise. It's a good hit sound. I don't know, man. I've had it for years, and I've always loved it. But if you want to get into Quake running, my best advice is just play the game. Don't, you know, be like, oh, I need to learn all the speedy strats. No, man. Just concentrate on what you're doing first. Like, how to control the game, like air strafing, things like that. There's a lot of intricacies in the movement in this game that are very... shit. It's like right here, what I'm going to do is you hold back, and you'll actually fall down like that, straight. That's something you have to learn how to do. If you just try and watch somebody speedrun this game, you'll be like, how the fuck are they doing these precise movements? There's, like, it's explainable, yes, but there's just some things that come with, like, player control. It's like explaining how I'm moving right now. I'm not actually really, like, thinking about it, so I can't explain it. I'm dead. That was sloppy. I should have used the nail gun. I don't know why I wasn't. I'm just kind of autopiloting at this point. But, yeah, I've also been playing a lot of NetHack lately. That's another game I want to put up, but I'm so scrubby at it. Those of you that know what NetHack is, you're awesome. Those of you that don't, go look it up. It's a freaking fantastic game. You know, I've been trying to learn that, but I have such a low skill ceiling at it that I really wouldn't put it up here. The furthest I've ever gotten was like Gnomish Mines. I've done Minetown, and I've gotten to the Shrine. I've gotten into Sokoban one time. That is the furthest I've ever gotten in NetHack. I know the tricks. Like, I'm not trying to be the meta guy, you know, but I do play Valkyrie. But I do human Valkyrie lawful. And I know about the Excalibur trick, but every time I do it, I always get water demons or something shitty happens to me. It's just like a facet of life I'm not used to. But, you know, that's that. Here's another trick coming up that like I said, it's a movement-based trick. This is not something I really can explain other than it's just, I know what to do. It's you jump off this window and you jump out there. But you have to like strafe a tiny bit to make sure you have enough speed. And that saves you quite a bit of time in that level as well. And this is one of those hairy levels. I've got a lot of those still. A lot of them are in Act 2, which is why I don't play Act 2 first. I play Act 4 first because Act 4 is actually pretty easy to me, except for that really hairy grenade launch jump. I'm surprised I got that as early as I did. Usually that takes me about 3 or 4 tries. I'm not good at it. I never have been. I don't know why. I'm just not good with grenades. It's also the same reason I never play as Demo Man in TF2 is because I'm just not good at, you know, pills or anything like that. I don't know why. I know how they work. I know the trajectory. It's just I can never get it to work at all. And you'll notice I have my chat in the corner there, the left, sorry. That's because I need to know if I pick up that key. That's honestly the only reason I have the whole thing on. Is because I need to see if I pick up that key. I fucked that up so many times. Where I get here and I don't have the key and I realize it and I'm like, ah, shit. You know, that happens way more often than I'd like to admit. And it's kind of sad. But, you know, NetHack, though, I'm really into. I really like it. I want to learn it better. But I always get so pissed because something stupid always happens, like Rock Piercer falls on me and I die. Or I get, like, I get a ton of food but nothing else. Or I get, like, a cursed potion really early and I'm, like, impatient. I'm like, alright, we're gonna go rush to, like, Gnomish Mines, and I want to get that altar, because there's a guaranteed altar in the area later. If you know anything about NetHack, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, I want to rush to Gnomish Mines, and then I rush back, and I get stuck on something stupid, and I could have done it. Or I get killed by, like, bullshit in the mines, and I'm like, fuck, man, whatever. I usually do Gnomish Mines at, like, level 5, because I want to get to that guaranteed altar. And I'm like, I want to curse check all my shit. And then I'll get stupid if I get an altar on the floor before it. I'll be like, no, it's not the same, I don't care. And I'll just completely fucking blank it and not go back and forth the floors to, like, curse check shit like an idiot. Or I'll just ignore my pet completely. I am a terrible person at that. I don't pay any attention to my pets in NetHack. I just abandon them the first floor of the game because I'm like, fuck it, they take up too much mental task. This is not a good time. This is not a good place to be. This is not gonna end well. I can already feel it. I'm gonna get killed. Don't hit me, Shambler. Okay, that was a miracle. I thought that Shambler was gonna hit me. I really did. I was waiting for it. My butt was clenched with that one. But yeah, NetHack's really fun. Also, another little intricacy about Quake. And this is what I was gonna say, is this level I've pretty much gotten a good strategy for at this point. It requires a lot of health, though. And it's like I was saying, it's like my strategy for the game has changed over the years because, you know, there's a lot of shit that I could have looked up, you know, and been like, oh, whatever. But I learned this little skip on my own, and I felt really proud about it, you know. I'm like, cool, man, I never thought of doing that. And it's just that little sort of self-accomplishment, like, doing this. I didn't think about doing this for years. Like, I could easily just rocket jump over there. I don't know why that never clicked in my mind, and I just tried it. I'm like, well, you can get the key doing that, so why don't I just do this? And I did it, and it worked. And as you can see, it works just fine. You don't have that much health gone, and you get armor, and it works. But yeah, NetHack is free, those of you that are interested in playing it. I could probably play Rogue on here. I'm half decent at Rogue. But NetHack, I'm scrubby. I think also the furthest dungeon floor I've ever gotten to was like 13, I think. I've nearly finished Rogue. That's the bullshit, man. I've nearly finished that, but I always... Something happens every time. Rogue is not nearly as balanced, and it sounds like, if you've ever heard of NetHack or played, you're like, NetHack's bullshit. Rogue is like, whatever, man. It's so basic that it's almost archaic, and you can't finish it without being lucky, but Rogue is Rogue. And NetHack is like, apparently, like, I think the statistics say like 90 or 80% of every single run in NetHack is able to be beaten. But, like, Rogue is like, fuck it, whatever, man. That's how I feel whenever I play Rogue. I literally never feel like I can get all the way to the end. Like, I can get, like, to level fucking 20 and then die to some bullshit. That was not how you want to do that. At all. Seriously. Normally, if I have armor, I'll rocket jump up there and skip a lot of this nonsense. But unfortunately, I don't have any armor. Man, I am trashing it up here. Let's just stick to what I know best. Just shotgun these hoe bags. Let's save. I don't normally like to save. Fuck, man, that's... At least know that fiend's gonna be right there, and... Like I said, if you're like, you don't seem like you're getting hit for an accurate distance, that's because the FOV is cranked to the max right now. And the hitboxes in Quake are a bit larger than they look. That's something I have to address, because if you're like, man, that looks like you're taking bullshit damage, it's because I am and I am not at the same time. Because Quake uses, like, the Ogre's hitbox on their chainsaw is fucking massive, man. It's not what you think it is. It's not... I've played this game for years, and it's always perplexed me every time. Like, right here is another example of how I've changed playing the game, too. You do need health. This is one of those instances in Quake where I actually have to pay attention to my health. And you can get shot by a pill here. It happens a lot, honestly. I just wanted to show that. Actually, really good timing that actually happened. But, yeah, it's one of those examples in Quake where I actually pay attention to my health, and I'm just cracking my hands here. It's like... Yeah, man. There's a lot going through my mind right now, and I'm trying to stay positive for you guys at the same time. God damn it, really. Oh, fuck's sake. That's going to shave off a little bit of time there, but I'm not too worried about it. Another thing about Quake is water. If you don't know, you do not want to actually hold space in water to move faster. That actually slows you down a very minor amount. And it's a very minor amount, like I said. It's not very much. It's only like a tiny bit of a second, but to anybody that's a speedrunner, they understand that those seconds do indeed add up very quickly. And this is another one of those levels where there's basically no time limit. This is like a time limit, if you will. Same with Shub Nagurath. If you're not doing it like I just did, you're kind of doing it wrong. And this is one of those surefire ways to do this level. And I haven't even mentioned this yet. I'm actually playing in normal difficulty, which is not the, like, social standard of playing this game. For speedrunning, it's actually either easy mode, and that's mainly for speed and efficiency, or it's nightmare for difficulty. But normal is just kind of, like, considered harder to speedrun, I've been told. I don't know why that is. I've just always played the game in normal difficulty ever since I played it. I've done it in Nightmare, and it's just not like it's frustrating. It's just I don't know. It's normal, man. I want to be different. So you also fight 2 Vors instead of 1 in a normal difficulty. And if you're wondering, I also use the rocket launcher a lot less. I use the grenade launcher a lot more. At least offensively. I don't use it as a movement sort of thing. Not nearly as much as you'd think I should. But this is also why I want to have mouse turning on, is because you can actually avoid the Vor projectiles doing that much more efficiently. And it's like, there's a lot of little things. Like I always say, the speedrunning is not, like, easy. It's not even close to easy. It may look easy because, oh, you're beating the game really fast, but I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly where I'm going. I know what I'm going to have happen to me. I know exactly all the errors I can make and my own weakness. It's kind of like, if you watch my Epsilon version of this level, you'll be like, wow, you really did change a lot. I did not mean to hit the ceiling there. Like, I think my Epsilon time on here was like fucking like a minute and a half. 33 seconds. I have definitely changed a lot of my own personal time. Because like I said, I have a very high skill ceiling for what I'm proud of. It's like I always like to say, it's like using a semicolon wrong for me is embarrassing. It's like, what the fuck was I thinking? I'm an idiot. That's dumb. I mean, I will literally do that because I've been writing since I was like a kid, like 6 years old, and I'm very grammatically anal retentive, if you will. I better not die here. I'll be fucking salty. Okay, there we go. That's good enough. Oh, that's not good enough. Whatever, we'll just reset the level. That's fine. It's like right now, I'm like, whatever, I fucked up so much, I don't even care. I normally should have at least a good chunk of health there, but I don't. I'm also not moving as fast as I was the last time I was here, which is kind of disappointing. I got caught up on one of those nights, which is rare. That normally doesn't ever happen. But, you know, it's always something different. Not everything should be perfect, I think. Imperfections make things interesting, you know? It's like me. I'm really fucked up, and that makes me interesting. That sounds like every generation, hipster generation person in general this day and age. Like, a little tiny speed trick right here. Standing in this direct area makes you go through that much faster because you're in the area where it opens up. It's like tiny things like that, when you realize it, it's pretty interesting. And I gotta get these zombies or I'm a punk. There we go. Yeah, man, it's like tradition. If you're speedrunning Quake and you don't hit those zombies, you got something wrong with you, man. I'm also not going as fast as I should be. Normally you hit that water, you actually have a lot of momentum and you go through here much quicker. There's also a grenade skip jump. I'm just not familiar with how to do it. I'm not saying I'll never do it, it's just, it's not in my cards right now, man. I'm not feeling it in my heart of cards, and it looks really cool though. You jump off the grenade and you jump right back off the key, and then you have this door already open. You save like 30 seconds. It's pretty damn cool looking. And then you do it right here too, but I'm not, that takes practice, and I'm not really hard pressed for practicing right this minute. I'm just playing for funsies. I'm not like worried about getting the world's best time. I know that's an illogical thing to have happen. Damn it. Now the other thing here is, can I at least get the sound glitch here? It's very interesting. If you shoot a grenade right here, like in this very specific spot, I don't think I can probably do it. Damn it. Like, sometimes it gets stuck in there. It just rattles around like 1,000 times, and it makes me laugh really bad. Like, it's one of those little tiny things. I'm like, if I can do it, it makes me happy. Alright, 120 is pretty decent for that level, though. Usually I try to shoot for a bit better, but that's good enough, I guess. Like, right here, there's also another grenade jump you can do right there, and you shoot yourself up there, and you pick up the key, and then you just go on about your merry way, but I've never done it, and I've practiced it, but I'll never say I won't do it. It's just I know it exists, and I haven't done it before. I mean, I've probably maybe attempted it, and I did it once unsuccessfully or on accident. Like, I probably fucked up the jump, and I somehow did it. But I've never actually done it subconsciously in a run. Just like you also do a grenade jump here, and then you end up, like, shooting yourself up there, and then you turn around, and then you finish the level. It's like, I know all these intricacies, I just not practiced in them, basically. It's like, I can speak Spanish, but I've lost a lot of my application for it because I got lazy. I took 3 years of it in high school, and I know enough, it's just I don't practice it nearly enough on a daily basis. Like, right here, this is another level I've practiced personally much more efficiently than I used to play it. Like, I used to play this level like shit. I mean, I would literally get bent out of shape because I had to do this level, and I'm just not good at it, it felt like, and I was like, fuck, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and I just sat down, I reevaluated the situation. I'm like, I don't need to get the yellow key, or the other key. I can just get the golden key from this little corridor, and then just mosey on over here, and then I can just rocket jump up. And it just took like a little bit of thought, and I'm like, alright, it's not impossible. Fuck! What the hell? Okay, that's not supposed to happen. I don't have very much health, so I can only do this one time. That's the only problem. Oh shit! Now I'm gonna die. there's some instances where you just know you're going to get killed. You need at least over 50 HP to survive a rocket jump, or at least some armor. Wow, I'm trashing up my rocket jumps. But like I said, this is one of those levels that I've definitely improved on in recent years. Fuck. I don't know why this jump is giving me so much sass. I think it's the positioning of the enemies right now that's really getting on my nerves. Let's do this. There. That's not as good, but, you know, it's good enough for me. And I have died one time only to fall damage in Quake. It was right there, and I was like mind blown. I was like, how the fuck did I do that? I have never done that before. And this is another level, like, I know there's an intricacy behind it. Like, you can bunny hop, I just don't know the exact timing. You bunny hop over that ledge and then back. But when you're doing it in normal, that fiend spawns and makes things difficult for you. That's something I do know for a fact. I know that exists. I'm not unaware of it. Like right here, Shitan as well. Or Chitin, I don't know how you pronounce it. Pretty sure it's Shitan. You have to hit him 3 times instead of 1 in easy. And now you may be just like, why don't you just fancy-dancy rocket jump over there? Because these actually don't activate until you've hit the button. When they're fully lowered, like right there. If I did it any sooner, it wouldn't do anything. And he could easily just hit me with one of his projectiles, and that would be a problem. This only takes a few more seconds than it normally would in, like, easy difficulty. And I'm not too worried about that. I'm a perfectionist, but I'm not that much of a perfectionist. I'm not too worried about if I don't get perfect times every single time. The only one I'm really worried about, like, in terms of perfection, is, like, this level right here for Shub. Because this is, like... It's so easy that if you fuck it up, you really owe it to yourself to say it's your fault. Like, this is an easy level to speedrun. These fish, if you don't get them out of your way, will just lose seconds. Because this is one of those levels that's so short that it doesn't matter. As long as you get this jump here, which I fucking bettered yet. There we go. This is it. This is basically the end of the run. And if you don't get here within this time frame, you're probably doing it wrong. And it's like, it's going to be 36 seconds. That's the guaranteed, like, time you're always going to have on this level, for me at least. But, you know, that was a Quake run. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, I enjoy playing through Quake all the time. Never gets old, really. And, you know, I know it's kind of a serious moment here and there, but, you know, that's just the way things work. And, you know, I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching me play through this in kind of that autopilot mode, just to prove I'm not, like, so far gone. And, you know, if you want to try Darkplaces out, go ahead and give it a shot. It's my favorite Quake engine. It's pretty easy to get up on modern systems. Never had any issues with it, really. So, you know, if you're into that sort of thing, go for it. And like I said, if you're going to try practicing Quake runs, just do it yourself. And I'm not the best, I don't claim to be, and I just had a good time playing through it. So, and if you guys enjoyed that, like I always say, hit that like button. It really helps out. Check out my other content. I make Musacs, I make TF2 stuff, and up and jamming around. And, you know, I just kind of want to make some stuff. Feels good to play. And, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.